Hey everybody, I just wanted to say that we have a great video planned today with a really cool Duster. I'm not feeling so good. It's green now? I think I have norovirus. God bless America. All jokes aside, I love the color of this car. This thing is absolutely immaculate. There is not a flaw to be seen. But what exactly is it? A 1971 Plymouth Duster 340. And you might be a little bit hesitant, thinking, you know what, it's a 1971, performance was starting to suffer by that point. Well, wrong. This car is still packing some major heat. That 340's got a compression ratio of 10.3 to 1 from the factory. And yes, that's down from 10.5 from the previous year. But like the previous year, it does have a forged crank. And then new to 1971 was a Carter thermoquad carburetor and an electronic ignition. Nice. And what does that all equate to? Well, Plymouth rated it the same as the previous year. 275 horsepower, 340 pound-feet of torque. If you take a look inside, yeah, no automatic transmission here. This one's got a 4-speed manual. And that means Hurst competition linkage and no pistol grips, because that wasn't allowed in the Duster 340. So you're gonna have to put your greasy little hands all over that big wooden knob. Outback, an 8 3/4 rear with 323 gears would have been standard, and then 355 and 391 optional. But this car, nah, those aren't good enough. 430 gears. As you would expect, this car is fairly light. During weigh-ins with the driver sitting in it, it was 3,414 pounds. Now that I've convinced you how great this car is, you might start looking for one. Well, they built a decent number of them, 12,886 for 1971. But remember, quite a few rusted to pieces. Super Street Cars magazine tested a 340 with 391 gears and a 3-speed automatic, and it ran the quarter mile in 14:26 at 98 miles per hour. As far as I know, that makes this one of the quickest small blocks for 1971. If you guys know about any small block competitors from 1971 that were quicker, leave a comment. 1970 Buick GSX. Before we get into this car, just take a minute, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. And we're going global, baby. We're going to Canada. We're going to Mexico. Hell, we're even gonna go to Australia. Ah! Okay, maybe not Australia, but do please subscribe to the channel, okay? I love you guys. Oh, and to the one woman that watches, I love you too. In a strictly platonic way, though. Contrary to what most people believe, the GSX was just an appearance package. It was not a performance package. So what do you get? Well, a black chin spoiler, a rear spoiler, a hood tech, black stripes, racing type mirrors, headlamp bezels, color keyed to the body, and a thick rimmed sport steering wheel. And I love getting rimmed. Deal with it. What did all that cost you? $1,195. That might not sound too crazy, but keep in mind, the Buick GS455, which this car is based off of, started at only $3,283. So for the GSX, which again is just an appearance package, you're adding over 30% cost to that car. And then of course, you throw in a Turbo 400, maybe the Stage 1 package, you got a car that's over $4,600. Adjusting for inflation, that's just over 38,000 bucks today, and that makes this one of the more expensive muscle cars of its era. Of course, just like the GS455, if you wanted a little bit more performance, you could just fork over another $113 for the Stage 1 package. And this car just happens to have that. Well, what does that mean? The standard compression ratio of 10 to 1 is now increased to 10.5 to 1. It also had larger valves and a more aggressive cam, not to mention a larger oil pickup tube. Buick said this thing was making 360 horsepower. Probably underrated, but, you know, impressive still nonetheless. But you want to know what's more impressive? That torque! 510 pound-feet at 2,800 RPM. Do you have a fire extinguisher? I hope so, because those tires are going up in flames. Just like my hopes and dreams of doing anything meaningful with my life outside of YouTube videos that thrive on fart jokes. Farts. Inside, you'll find that this one has a 3-speed automatic for ease of use, and out back it's got 342 rear gears. So is this GSX going to be the fastest one you've ever seen? No, but it's a very well-balanced car, and I would love to drive it. At this point, I'm hoping that you're not expecting to buy one of these cars because they are incredibly rare. When you break it down into the 1970 GSX cars with the Stage 1 package and the automatic transmission, this thing is one of 280, so good luck finding one. And perhaps this is surprising for a lot of you, but this was actually one of the quickest cars of the entire muscle car era. Motor Trend tested a GS455 Stage 1 in January of 1970, and that monster flew down the quarter mile in 13:38 at 105 miles per hour. Now, is this car gonna run that quick? Well, it probably could. But a better question is the owner gonna run it balls to the wall? Probably not, considering that this thing is valued at more than my entire net worth, so just shut up and enjoy the race.
Up next, Randy Brigatti out of Pennsylvania, 71 Duster 340. Going up against Harry Raver out of Plymouth. Going to go to the Buick 14-0 GSX 455 small block, small car versus big block Buick.
In the first round, it's the Buick that takes home the win, running 14 flat at 98 miles per hour. However, the Duster wasn't too far behind, running 14.17 at 104 miles per hour. Let's see what happens in round 2.
Next up, 70 GSX 455 automatic in the left lane. Up against Randy Brigatti out of PA with a 71 Duster 340. And it's a 13-point. Buick does go through first. 13.94 at 98 to a losing 14. Buick may have the whole car
In the second round, the Buick takes home the win again, running 13.94 seconds at 98 miles per hour. The Duster ran 14.71 at only 77 miles per hour, so they either let off the gas or maybe they were having some issues. Unfortunately, the Duster didn't run the third round, but that Buick did.
In the right lane, out of Wisconsin, 70 GSX 455 automatic for the Byron.
And as expected, it's the Buick that takes home the win. A huge thanks to the owners for bringing out these cars. They are absolutely gorgeous. Like I already said, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going for 100K this year. And while you're at it, click the like button. I'll see you guys at the next one.